welcome to the world of Yokai Watch. My name is Yoke. People affectionately refer to me as the Yokai Professor. This world is widely inhabited by creatures known as yokai. For some people... Is that seriously a yokai? Like, you're not kidding, right? It is literally an ass. My god, in here I thought the Pokemon designs were getting stupid. Anyway, this is my grandson. You two have known each other since you were kids. His name is, Did you seriously forget my name? What? No, of course not. It was, Hey, Gramps, what's that thing floating next to you? No, don't tell me! I can do this! It starts with a 3? Yokai Watch! Oh man, was I hyped for this game. Not only is it made by Level 5, the same people behind Professor Layton and Ni no Kuni, but in Japan, the series has gone on to outsell Pokemon. And if there's one thing I know about Japan, it's that they like them some Pokemon. But what is a yokai, you ask? Basically, they're a bunch of spirits that live alongside humans, and only those lucky enough to stumble upon a yokai watch can see them. Each one has a unique ability that they can use to inspirit others. So if you're experiencing feelings that you can't explain, then you're most likely being influenced by a yokai. And there's a yokai for pretty much everything. Feeling hungry even though you've already eaten? Blame the yokai! Accidentally stole your friend's most prized possession? Blame the yokai! Can't remember your grandson's name? Carl? Yokai, gotcha covered! Now you might be thinking, aren't the yokai just a means of shifting the blame for your own irresponsible actions? Well, congratulations, you got the joke. Honestly, it's an interesting concept. Creatures that give explanation to life's unexplained occurrences. Also, they kill each other. This is Yokai Watch. One day while hunting for bugs in the woods, you come across a magical singing vending machine that wants you to feed it a coin.
Feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me right now.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Almost as good as my other favorite singer, Popcorn Machine. The prize we got ended up being the ghostly yokai butler named Whisper, who gives us the yokai watch and explains how to find and befriend the different spirits. As it turns out, yokai are hidden everywhere. In trees, under cars, in tall grass, even in the bathroom. And now I'm never going into another bathroom ever again. To befriend the yokai, you have to do one of two things. Either convince them to join you willingly, or beat the crap out of them and hope that they decide to stick with you. The first thing that I should probably point out are the yokai themselves. There's a lot of them. Well over 200 to be precise. Their designs range from completely adorable to downright creepy and weird. Like Mangy Mutt. Just look at that face. That face. But I always found myself getting excited after discovering a new yokai and imagining the effect it has on other people. There's even a photo mode where you can take pictures to see what kinds of yokai are affecting you and your friends. Apparently, I have a Komaiger following me. Here's a tip for the person being inspirited by Komaiger. You should wear some tiger stripes. Okay, but why though? What I didn't enjoy was finding a new yokai, only to realize it's just a palette swap of one that I've already seen. And there is a surprising amount of these alternate colored yokai. In some cases, they even share the same rank and abilities. No matter what game you're playing, if you ever come across a character with the same design as another, but with a different color and name, it's always going to come across as lazy, which obviously is never a good thing. Do the designers honestly think that players wouldn't notice? Wow, check out this awesome yokai I found, Mirapo. And here's my completely original character, Merkle. Even though there are a ton of these palette swaps, there are still enough unique yokai that the game can keep constantly throwing new ones at you, so it's never completely redundant. There are even some really cool giant boss yokai that you can find by progressing through the game. As for the story itself, there's not a whole lot to talk about. Most of the game is just spent fulfilling requests for others and befriending different yokai. The story is broken up into individual episodes, and each one seamlessly unlocks new features for you. For example, early on in the game, Whisper tells you to go to the watch shop and get your Yokai watch upgraded so you can find stronger allies. After completing the test, the watchmaker said that he wouldn't be able to finish the upgrade without his favorite pair of underwear that he conveniently lost at the sauna, so he asks us to go looking for them. After getting to the bathhouse, we discovered that the old man's underwear was being worn by this giant pig. Never thought I would have a reason to say that sentence, but I digress. Also, this scrawny old man's underwear somehow fits on this giant pig spirit. Just figured I'd throw that out there. In case you haven't realized by now, this game is weird. Literally everything about it, the characters, the story, even the music just screams weird. But I think that's where a lot of its charm comes from. Yeah, it's mostly intended for kids, but I actually found myself having a lot of fun all throughout the story. There's just something about the weirdness that manages to hold my attention the whole way through. Even though nothing really major happens until towards the end of the game, I wanted to keep going because I was legitimately having fun in a way that no other game in recent memory has been able to emulate. It's like the insane love child of Pokemon and Majora's Mask that I never knew I wanted. But apparently I did. And then we get into the gameplay. I'll be honest, after beating this game the whole way through, I'm not even sure whether or not I like the battle system. For the most part, it's completely automated, and the only parts you do have control over are using items, rotating your team, targeting opponents, and using ultimate attacks. Meanwhile, your yokai decide what attack to use, when to defend, who to heal, and so on. Mostly you'll just be playing one of 3 minigames on the bottom screen to use one of your yokai's ultimate moves. And you'll be playing these same minigames of tapping, drawing, and spinning over and over again. Eventually, they do get boring, but you have to do them in order to use your most powerful attacks. That being said, there is some strategy involved in battle. You need to decide the right time to use your special attacks, when the best time to use an item is, which enemy to target, which yokai to have next to each other, making the entire battle system more complex than it appears at first. Regardless, combat was never boring enough for me to want to stop playing, but outside of boss fights, it wasn't really that exciting either. Even right now, I'm torn up about whether or not I like it. Much like the rest of the game, the combat is just weird. I know it's a cliche thing to say, but unless you play it for yourselves, you probably won't really understand how it feels. But I do know one thing, trying to befriend other yokai is obnoxious. In order to befriend them, you need to defeat them in battle and hope that they'll ask to join you. And my god, it's incredibly hard to make them join you. There are a few ways you can increase your odds though. Some yokai have the ability to make foes like you more, and you can feed the enemy their favorite food once per battle to increase their likelihood of them asking to join you. But even after using both methods together, even with the highest ranking food, enemies still don't want to befriend you 80% of the time. This can be frustrating, especially when fighting the more rare yokai. It's because of this that I probably won't be able to complete my collection. Obtaining all the yokai will definitely take a lot more patience than I have. But all things aside, I did have a lot of fun with Yokai Watch. It's one of the most disturbingly charming games I've played recently. From the unique storytelling to the copious amounts of interesting characters to the strange and catchy music. It's not perfect by any means, but that doesn't mean it's a bad game. A lot of people have compared it to Pokemon, I'm guilty of that myself, but when you get right down to it, it's a completely different experience. The concept alone was enough to keep me hooked, and I'm glad I played it all the way through. In my opinion, Yokai Watch is definitely not for everyone, but if it looks like something you might be into, then I'd recommend you give this one a try.
Oh no, that's not it. Maybe it was, could it have been,
Do you need me to give you a hint?
I've got it! You're the esteemed yokai, Professor Yoke!
What? No, that's you!
Are you sure? Because I could have sworn that you... What are we doing here again?
You're trying to remember your grandson's name?
I have a grandson?
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out my video. This video was a lot of fun, and I hope you liked watching it as much as I did making it. If you enjoyed it, then please go ahead and drop a like or subscribe if you want to see my videos as soon as they're done. If you want to stay updated on what I'm doing, I've got a Twitter and a Facebook page that you can check out in the description. I got a lot more content on the way, so I'll see you again soon.